Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khadija Tadishola, and in my channel I talk about everything related to women and midwifery. So today I'll be talking to all the newly recruited international midwives. Okay. After your OSCE, everything, you've not gotten your PIN. Now another stage is getting to be working as a midwife in the UK. So how are you finding the system? How are you trying to cope with with the colleagues, everything, the work and all of that? So in this video I'm just going to be talking about one or two things that might make your transition easy and smooth, basically. So the first thing I'll be talking about is, if you are not subscribed to my channel, try as much as possible to subscribe to my channel, especially if you like this information. If this information look like something that you are interested in, it means that then lots of my videos coming out will benefit you as well. So please try as much as possible to subscribe to my channel, share to your friends and colleagues that might benefit from this information as well, and don't forget to like and comment on this video. Thank you. So after getting your PIN, depends on the trust or depends on where you're working. Basically, it depends on the trust or hospital, basically. So you will do your supernumerary period where you will not be in number, and later you join the numbers and all of that. So how you coping, what are the things that you can do that can make the transition smooth for you? So one of the first thing I'll talk about is that working in the maternity department in the UK, or working in the UK generally, is almost like, let me say, it's different from working back home, just because of their policies. They really have lots of policies. So to make the work easy for you, and to make this transition easy for you, you have to really understand this, that there is basically nothing they do here that is not being guided, that there is no policy for it. Basically, ordinary person taking a catheter, there is policies for it. Yes, basically. So you basically needs to understand all of this thing. And before you really start, one of the things, that there are some national policies and there are trust policies and guidelines. One of the national things when I say national things, is that things that national recommendation that are the same thing in the whole country. And things like, for the maternity, things like the Okende report. So the Okende report, they have, after one event or the other happens, then they review the event and they give a recommendation to as to what the maternity should be doing, basically. And there is another one, better birthing initiative, and there is another one, saving babies bundle. That's like the common general national policies that you really need to be aware of as a midwife. So these policies, they are things you should be aware of. They are not things that you should basically cram, unlike back home that you really need to know it. Like, no, just be aware of them, that this exists. So whenever you face with that kind of situation, or with a situation that you need to do something related to that, remember that there is a recommendation, there is a policy that you need to work with. So you basically go and look for it and make sure you're doing what is right for you, basically. Another thing is that each trust have their own policy, and once they send you to a particular ward or to a particular department, try to look at, okay, for instance, if we've been sent to delivery suite now, there are some policies that they use more often in delivery suite. For instance, the OASI, that's obstetric anal sphincter injury, that talked about suturing and all of that. When I heard about it, I was like, OASI, what's OASI? I don't know, it has to do with the suturing and all of that. So you really needs to be aware of it. These are things that is being made up by the midwives and the gynecologists. and the obstetrician about the, the third degree, fourth degree perineal tear, and, relating it to incontinence and all of that. So you really needs to, read that. If you're working in here antenatal ward, then that will not be necessary at that point if that's where you're starting with. Another thing is that if you're working in the delivery suite as well, you want to know more about intrapartum CTG. You want to really understand what decelerations on the CTG, interpretation of CTG, and all of that, what they really means. You want to know really little about epidural. You're basically not the one doing the epidural, but you're managing the patients after they've had epidural. So you really need to know about that. You need to really know about the PET, cancer and toxemia. Yeah, you really need to know about that. Depending on your trust, basically, you need to know about any policies that have to be with managing women in labor, which women should be admitted in the midwifery-led unit, which women should be admitted in the delivery suite, which women, eligible for this, eligible for that, the oxytocin policies, and all of that. You really need to know all of those things that are related to that. If you're working in the antenatal ward now, you want to really know more about, the induction, everything about the induction, and what agent they are using, what you need to give to this person, what, induction of, women who have strong, who their water has gone, induction agent that you use for women whom has had cesarean section before, that's fever and all of that. You really want to, know more about those policies. If you're working in postnatal ward now, you want to know about infant feeding, you want to know about TROC, that's the catheter, removal of catheter and all of that. You want to know about those policies. You want to know more about discharge policies, transfer of care, referral, and all of that anywhere you're working in. So basically, whichever ward they send you to start your, your posting with, you want to really know about what specific thing they do in that ward. So you want to have an idea of the policy. Now, having an idea of the policies, of knowing the policies, doesn't mean you have to know them in your head. There are computers everywhere, there are systems, there are iPad, you should always check them. There is an IV administration, you should always check them. There's always, a plan on, there's always guidelines on how you should dilute a particular medications and all of that. So all of those things are significant. If you're not sure of anything, please check the system, or if you don't really have that time, you can always check with other colleagues. Oh, just to confirm, is this, is this, that? You cannot be wrong in asking. You can always ask. If you're not sure of something, please ask. If you do all of these things, it will make your transition so smooth, and it will make, you will have reduced number of mistakes or error, basically. We do limited number of, mistakes or error or something. So you always cross check everything you're doing. This is not like back home that we can always do anything as what they said. So even here, if a consultant plan and it's not, what the policy says, you can always say, okay, that's not what the policy says. Because next time, if the consultant is writing me, you can let them know what the policy says. Both of you are going to check the policies together, and they plan basically based on what the policy says. So, and the policies are not the same for the whole trust, for all NHS trust. So basically, you have to check with your trust what they say, what they are following. For instance, for oxytocin use, I think in my trust we're using the less, like not even, we are using less than the national recommendation for oxytocin. So you basically need to look at what your trust is using and what your trust says about something. Not even if you watch YouTube video, if I say we do this in my trust, you have to really check with your trust and know what they do in your trust. Even under the same trust, you have to check your, like my trust have like 2 hospitals. The policies in my hospital is different from the other hospital that they have. So because all hospitals have their own management and they have their policy review team. So they have different, they have consultants on different teams and all of that, and they really try as much as possible to play, safe in their things, and every policies are being updated and reviewed, so you really need to update yourself. But one thing that is important, that you should be aware that there is policy for almost everything, almost everything. So for instance, when you are giving IV antibiotics, you're giving benzypenicillin or something, you really need to check, what did they dilute this with? Is it with normal saline or with, water for injection? If you're not sure, you can check the IV guide. If you're not sure, you can check someone else and say, sorry, just to confirm, the benzypenicillin, are we diluting with normal saline or, or sodium chloride? It's normal saline or water for injection, just to confirm. Even if it's still the same thing, just to confirm. Then another thing, okay, oh, this lady coming, she's feedback. Are we giving Prostin or giving Propels? What are we giving? Just confirm. If you're not sure, you can always check the policy. So in essence, transitioning smoothly into the system, in the maternity system, as an international midwife, you really need to, if you're not taking anything from this video, take that. Almost everything they do here have policies and guidelines. So always check what the guideline says. That will minimize the mistake or error that you are going to do, and that way also boost your confidence and increase your ability, or anyhow. Thank you so much for watching this video. This will be the end of this video. If you have any addition to this, please say it in the comment section. If you think there's something I should have added that I did not add, please say that in the comment section. Thank you so much for always watching my video. Don't forget to share with your friends and colleagues that may benefit from this information. And please keep watching my videos. Love you.